Maya Collins was 32 and worked as a financial analyst in Boston. She had spent years building a quiet, stable life. Nothing extravagant but comfortable and secure. So when she opened her mail one ordinary afternoon and found mortgage documents for a house she never bought, she froze. Her heart started to race. The documents, neatly packed in a thick envelope, were from a real estate company she had never dealt with. Confused, she flipped through the pages until she saw it. Her name printed as the borrower of a $480,000 mortgage. "What in the world?" she whispered, flipping faster. Her signature appeared at the bottom of several forms. Except she hadn't signed any of them. She hadn't even heard of the property listed on the contract. That evening she called the mortgage company, but it was after business hours. Unable to sleep, she sat on her couch with a cup of cold tea, staring at the ceiling, wondering if her identity had been stolen. Then the phone rang. It was her mother. "Where are you watching from today? Kindly hit like and subscribe to this channel for more." "Did you get the papers?" Linda Collins asked casually, like she was checking on a birthday card. "Mom, what's going on?" Maya asked. "These are mortgage papers with my name on them. I didn't sign for a house." Linda sighed. "Your father and I thought it was time we had a family dinner. Come over tonight. Sophie will be there too." "No," Maya said firmly. "You're going to tell me now. Is this fraud?" "Oh, don't be dramatic," Linda replied. "It's a family matter. We'll explain everything at 6. The call ended before Maya could protest further. She stared at her phone in disbelief. Her mother didn't sound worried. She sounded confident. That was what scared Maya the most. The next day she called in sick to work, drove to Connecticut and pulled into her childhood driveway where Sophie's car was already parked. Her stomach turned. Maya stepped into the living room, where her parents and sister sat like they were holding a board meeting. Her mother handed her a glass of wine. Her father gestured to the armchair across from them. "Sit," he said. "Just tell me what's going on," Maya said, ignoring the drink. "We found a nice house in Winchester," Linda began. "Good schools, quiet area. A perfect starter home for Sophie." "And?" Maya asked. "Sophie couldn't qualify for a mortgage on her own," Charles explained. "Bad credit, unstable job history. So we used your details. You've always had strong finances." Maya blinked. "You used my credit? Without telling me? Without asking?" "We knew you'd overthink it," her mother said quickly. "So we moved ahead. The house is bought and Sophie moves in next week." "You what?" Maya shouted, standing up. "You committed fraud." Charles raised a hand. "Lower your voice. It's not fraud. We're family." "Don't twist this," Maya snapped. "You forged my signature on $500,000 worth of debt." Linda kept her tone calm. "You've done well for yourself. You can afford it. Sophie needs this. It's not like we're strangers asking for help." Sophie, quiet until now, spoke up. "You act like it's such a burden. You always talk about your promotions and investments. I'm just trying to have a stable life too." Maya stared at her, speechless. "This is insane." "You've always been the responsible one," her father said. "Now it's time to step up for your sister. We raised you to care for family." "I didn't agree to this," Maya cried. "I'm not paying for something I never signed up for." "If you walk out of this house," Linda said, stepping forward, "you're turning your back on your family." Maya looked her mother straight in the eyes. "If being part of this family means being used and manipulated, then maybe I don't want to be part of it anymore." She turned, grabbed her bag and walked out without another word. As she drove away, tears blurred her vision. She had spent her whole life trying to earn their approval. But now for the first time she saw the truth. They didn't see her as a daughter. They saw her as a solution. The next morning Maya called Chloe Reed, a longtime friend who worked as a paralegal. Her voice shook as she explained everything. "Oh my God, Maya," Chloe said. "That's identity theft. That's mortgage fraud. You need a lawyer. Right now." Maya sat across from Chloe Reed later that afternoon in a quiet downtown cafe. Chloe had already pulled out her laptop and a legal pad, scribbling notes as Maya recounted the events. "They used my old tax returns. And my mother admitted she forged my signature," Maya whispered. "They acted like it was normal." Chloe's eyes widened. "That's serious, Maya. We're talking federal offenses." Maya nodded slowly. I don't want them to go to jail, but I also can't let this ruin my credit or my future. Chloe tapped a few keys. I know someone who might help. Her name's Rachel Carter, financial crimes attorney. I'll call her now. Within minutes, Chloe was on the phone briefly explaining the case. She can squeeze you in tomorrow for a free consultation, Chloe said. Go. Bring every document you have. The next day, Maya sat across from Rachel Carter in a sleek office filled with files and certificates. Rachel didn't sugarcoat anything. Your parents committed identity theft and mortgage fraud, she said flatly. These are crimes, Maya. Serious ones. Maya clutched the folder in her lap. What can I do? Rachel leaned forward. First, we document everything. Emails, texts, the forged mortgage papers. Second, we notify the mortgage company and property office that this loan was taken out fraudulently. Maya's hands trembled slightly. Will they go to jail? Rachel's voice was calm but direct. That depends on whether you want to press charges. But either way, you need to legally disconnect yourself from this loan before payments are due. If not, your credit, your assets, everything is at risk. Maya nodded. Let's do it. All of it. Rachel guided Maya through a list of action steps. Over the next few days, Maya gathered every document she could find. Mortgage files, old texts from her parents, even casual emails where her mother hinted at doing what's best for Sophie. Rachel drafted a formal letter and mailed it to Maya's parents, warning them of the legal implications and stating clearly that Maya would not be paying for the house. 3 days later, Charles called. Maya didn't answer. He left a furious voicemail. This childish tantrum has gone on long enough. Your mother's upset. Sophie's devastated. You need to stop this and come to your senses. Maya stared at the phone. It wasn't a message of remorse. It was another attempt to guilt her into silence. The pressure only increased. Linda began calling Maya from different phone numbers after being blocked. One morning she showed up at Maya's office demanding to talk like a family. Security had to escort her out. Charles sent an email to Maya's boss, claiming she was unstable and making false accusations. Thankfully, her boss believed her and warned HR. Sophie, meanwhile, launched a public smear campaign. She posted tearful TikToks about how her sister was making her homeless. She shared manipulated screenshots of conversations, making Maya look cruel. A GoFundMe page titled, "Abandoned by My Sister," went viral in their small hometown, racking up donations. Extended relatives began weighing in, calling Maya heartless and selfish. Only Grandma June sent a quiet message, "I love you. I'm here if you need to talk." That one text made Maya cry harder than anything else. Maya's world shrank under the weight of stress. Sleep became impossible. She had constant nightmares about being arrested for debts she didn't owe. Her credit score began to dip as the mortgage company launched their fraud investigation but hadn't yet cleared her name. At work, her performance slipped. Friends didn't understand. Maybe just help a little, Maya. She's your sister, one said. He stopped going to yoga. She avoided social events. One voicemail from her father changed everything. We've hired an attorney. If you don't accept responsibility for this house by Friday, we're suing you for the full amount. Maya forwarded the message to Rachel immediately. The call came back within minutes. They're bluffing, Rachel said. But if they do sue, we'll be ready. And Maya, you might want to file for a restraining order. This is harassment. 4 days later, Maya opened her apartment door to find a man in a blazer holding an envelope. Miss Collins, he asked. She nodded, heart sinking. You've been served. Inside was a lawsuit, filed by her own parents. They were suing her for $480,000, the full value of the house. The complaint claimed she had verbally agreed to help her sister buy a home, that her parents had acted in good faith, and that she had now abandoned her family obligations. Maya sat on the floor surrounded by papers, her body numb. She was being dragged into court over a house she never agreed to for a loan she never signed. She picked up her phone and called Rachel. They really did it, she whispered. They're suing me. Rachel's voice was steady. Then we fight. All the way. Rachel introduced Maya to Daniel Brooks, a litigation attorney known for handling family financial abuse cases. His retainer was $10,000. Almost all of Maya's carefully built emergency fund. At their first meeting, Daniel didn't offer false hope. The case is baseless, he said, flipping through the complaint. But that doesn't mean it won't cost you time and money. Their goal is to drain you emotionally and financially. Maya nodded slowly. I'm not letting them win. Not this time. Daniel filed a strong response and counterclaims for harassment, emotional distress, and defamation. He also filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit altogether. But legal battles take time, and the judge scheduled the hearing 3 months out. Meanwhile, the mortgage remained in Maya's name. Her credit score dropped. Her future plans were frozen. And Sophie? She posted photos on Instagram with captions like, "Dreams come true when you're loved." The financial toll started to bite hard. Maya stopped contributing to her 401k. She canceled her planned trip to Greece. Grocery bills went on credit cards. Her hair began falling out from stress and her weight plummeted. Friends who had once been supportive began pulling away. "Can't you just work it out?" they asked. "They're your parents." Maya wanted to scream. No one seemed to grasp the betrayal. It wasn't just about money. It was about having her identity stolen by people who claimed to love her. Even her therapist made a comment that shook her. "Wouldn't it be worth it to save the relationship?" she asked. Maya never went back. She didn't need another person telling her that her pain was inconvenient. 3 months passed in a haze of court filings, stress, and loneliness. Then Daniel called with news. "They've made a settlement offer," he said. Maya's stomach turned. "What is it?" "They want you to take over the mortgage for 5 years. After that, Sophie will try to refinance in her name. In exchange, they'll drop the lawsuit." Maya stared at the ceiling. 5 years of debt. 5 years of resentment. It would financially cripple her but end the legal war. She sat in silence before shaking her head. "If I accept this, I'm telling them their manipulation worked." Her voice was firm. "Tell them no. Not 5 years. Not 5 minutes." Daniel smiled. "Good. That's exactly what I hoped you'd say." The night before the court hearing, Maya sat on her couch surrounded by unopened bills and legal papers. She broke down. For the first time in months, she let herself sob, deep and ugly, the kind of crying that comes from years of buried pain. She cried for the child who never felt enough. For the student who paid her own way through college. For the adult who had worked so hard only to be punished for her success. When the tears stopped, something shifted inside her. A steel resolve settled in. He would not be broken. She texted Daniel, "I'm ready for tomorrow. Whatever it takes." His reply came instantly, "You're stronger than you know. Sleep well." That night, for the first time in weeks, Maya slept through the night without nightmares. The courthouse felt cold and formal as Maya climbed the stone steps in a navy blue suit. Daniel met her at the entrance, his face calm. "You've done everything right," he said. "Let me do the talking." Inside the courtroom, Maya spotted her parents and Sophie on the other side, dressed in conservative outfits, trying to look like victims. Her mother clutched a handkerchief, her father sat stone-faced, and Sophie avoided eye contact. Their lawyer, Lawrence Peterson, gave Daniel a smug nod. At 10:45 a.m. the case was called, Collins versus Collins. Maya took a deep breath as she followed Daniel to the defendant's table. Her stomach churned, but she reminded herself, she had nothing to hide. Judge Monica James, a sharp woman in her late 50s with short silver hair and piercing eyes, addressed the room. "We're here on a motion to dismiss." Daniel stood. "Your Honor, this lawsuit is an abuse of the legal system. My client never agreed to this mortgage. Her identity was used without her consent. That's not just immoral, it's illegal." He calmly dismantled every argument in the complaint, ending with, "This isn't a family misunderstanding. This is financial abuse." Judge James nodded slowly and turned to Peterson. "Your response." Peterson stood confidently. "This is about family obligation, Your Honor. My clients believed they had their daughter's consent. She had always helped before. They acted in good faith." Maya clenched her jaw, trying not to react. The judge's expression darkened. "Are the plaintiffs disputing that the defendant's signature was forged on legal mortgage documents?" Peterson hesitated. "They don't dispute that, Your Honor, but they had implied permission." "Implied permission to commit fraud?" Judge James asked, her tone icy. Peterson fumbled. "They believed she would support the decision once the purchase was made." Judge James called Charles Collins to the stand. Sworn in, he launched into a carefully rehearsed tale about family values and supporting one another. "We assumed Maya would be proud to help her sister," he said warmly. "We didn't think it would come to this." Judge James asked bluntly, "Did you ever ask Maya directly for her consent?" "Not exactly," he replied. "It was understood." "So no," she confirmed. "You forged her name and assumed she'd go along with it." Next, Linda took the stand, dabbing her eyes with a tissue. "I was just trying to help Sophie," she said tearfully. "I didn't mean any harm. Maya's always been so distant, so cold." Then came Sophie, eyes wide with practiced innocence. "I just wanted a stable home. I thought Maya loved me enough to help. I never asked her to go to court." Daniel objected to several statements. Hearsay. Irrelevant. The judge sustained most of them. When Maya took the stand, she told the truth. Calmly. Hurry. She explained her independence, her sacrifices, and the betrayal. "This wasn't a misunderstanding," she said. "They used me. And when I said no, they tried to punish me with this lawsuit." Her voice didn't shake once. Then Daniel presented the bombshell, emails and texts uncovered during discovery. In one, Charles wrote, "Maya will never agree. We'll present it as a done deal. She always caves when pressured." In another, Linda responded, "She won't let Sophie be homeless. Once it's signed, she'll have no choice." The courtroom went silent. Judge James read each message slowly. Her gaze drifted toward the plaintiffs, her face unreadable. "I'll take this under advisement," she said at the end. "A ruling will be issued within 10 days. But let me be clear. Family doesn't override the law." Court was adjourned. As Maya gathered her things, she felt something new rise in her chest, calm. For the first time, she had stood her ground. No matter the outcome, she had spoken her truth. 9 days later, Maya was in a budget meeting at work when her phone buzzed. A message from Daniel, "Ruling is in. Call me when you can." Her hands shook as she stepped out into the hallway and called immediately. Daniel's voice was steady. Judge James dismissed the case with prejudice. Maya leaned against the wall, tears welling. "She also granted our motion for sanctions. Your parents and their attorney have to pay $15,000 toward your legal fees. And Maya," his voice softened. "She issued a temporary restraining order. 90 days. No contact from them or your sister." Maya covered her mouth with her hand. Relief washed over her like a tide. For the first time in months, she exhaled without fear. That evening, Maya sat in her apartment with the court order spread across her dining table. The line that hit hardest was simple but powerful. The defendant's rights were violated. The plaintiffs acted without consent. She had fought back and won. The next few days were a blur. News of the ruling leaked to local media. An online article titled, "Parents Sued by Daughter After Forging Mortgage Documents" went viral. Maya turned off her phone. When she turned it back on, she found dozens of voicemails and messages. Some supportive, others cruel. One from Sophie came at 2 a.m. "I hope you're happy. Mom's had panic attacks. Dad's talking bankruptcy. You've destroyed this family. You'll die alone with your money." Maya deleted it. No part of her wanted to hold on to that kind of venom. 3 days later, an email arrived from Uncle David, her father's estranged brother. "Maya, I read about what happened. I'm proud of you. Your parents did the same kind of thing to me decades ago. You're not the first. But you might be the first who stood up to it." His message brought clarity. This wasn't just about her. It was generational. A legacy of manipulation disguised as family obligation. Maya replied, and the two began exchanging stories, slowly building a relationship grounded in honesty. A week later, the mortgage company closed their fraud investigation. Maya's name was officially removed from all documents, and her credit score would be corrected. She was free, legally, financially, emotionally. As the headlines faded, so did many of the reactions. Relatives who had rushed to judge her fell silent. Some reached out awkwardly to check in. Maya answered politely but kept her distance. Trust, once broken, would not be easily repaired. Sophie's social media morphed into cryptic quotes about betrayal and surviving toxic people. According to a mutual friend, she had moved back into their parents' basement. The Winchester house stood empty, a monument to decisions built on entitlement. A month later, Linda left Maya a voicemail from a new number. "We need to talk. This has gone too far." Maya didn't return the call. The real damage had already been done. A line had been crossed that couldn't be uncrossed. 6 weeks after the ruling, Maya received a letter from the district attorney's office. Criminal charges would not be pursued, partly because Maya had not pushed for them, and partly due to the civil remedies already enforced. She was relieved. As angry as she had been, she never wanted her parents behind bars. She only wanted to protect herself. With the storm finally over, she focused on rebuilding. She hired a financial advisor, restructured her budget, and began contributing to her retirement fund again. She found a new therapist, one who specialized in family trauma, and started unpacking the emotional wreckage left behind. Week by week, she felt stronger and lighter. One crisp autumn afternoon, Maya received a package. Inside was a small wooden jewelry box from her childhood, hand-carved by her late grandfather. Alongside it was a note. "This belongs with you. Love always, Grandma June." Maya called her that night. For the first time, her grandmother shared her own story of favoritism and silence. "I should have spoken up more when you were younger," she said gently. That conversation became the foundation of something new, an honest relationship free from guilt or obligation. Maya began to understand that family wasn't about blood or birthdays. It was about respect and boundaries. A year after the court victory, Maya sat across from a young woman named Lily at a cafe in Cambridge. Lily had just discovered her parents had opened a car loan in her name. Her eyes were red, hands trembling over a folder of documents. "I'm scared," she said. "They say I owe them for everything." Maya reached across the table. "You don't owe them your future," she said softly. "You have every right to protect yourself." Helping others became Maya's quiet legacy. She started a blog, shared her story at financial literacy events, and mentored survivors of family financial abuse. Her journey had started with a forged signature, but ended with something far more powerful: freedom. Not just from debt, but from the belief that love requires sacrifice without limits. Maya had built something stronger than any mortgage she had built herself, and no one could take that away.